Nigeria ought to be by far more advanced and more developed than where we are. Sorry to say, but these are facts that we can prove. So we don't need to be mincing words that we are where we are. We are not where we are supposed to be. Because if you recognize the fact that many Asian tiger countries that are fast developing now, they are calling them emerging nations. They are not more endeavor. So we cannot do without embracing this. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a far-reaching effect on the global economy. It has affected the global, it has affected the global travel businesses, national healthcare systems, the food industry, events industry, education, and global trade. There are many examples to this because, as we know, many of the partakers, even the chairman of the President's Task Force, the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, Mr. Bob Mustafa, he openly declared that he did not know that there is so much deficiency or a lot of shortages in our healthcare delivery system until when he himself is partaking as the chairman of the President's Task Force on combating COVID-19. So we have a lot to do to bring to bear for our people to be able to benefit from most of these things that they are supposed to be doing. As I said, there have been a lot of distractions over the year, but we cannot be crying over a spilled milk. We just have to take the bull by the horns and see that we leapfrog and be where we are supposed to be. As we know, that the Federal Institute of Industrial Research was established in 1956 and is Nigeria's foremost industrial research institute with a broad mandate to assist in accelerating the rate of industrialization of the Nigerian economy, of course, which they are doing, but unfortunately, there is not enough support from the government that is the proprietor. And the mandate of most of the research institutes in the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, they are so confined to only doing research and development. They prove the efficacy or the workability of the research and development findings with just prototypes or pilot plan schemes. They cannot go beyond that. It is unfortunate that this is like that. But I'm looking for a way by which their mandate could be expanded so that they can semi-commercialize some of the products that they are making. So the vision of FIRO is to be the center of excellence in industrial research and development for the socio-economic development of the nation, while their mission is to conduct and promote market-driven research and development for the industrialization of socio-economic development of the nation, of which the Director General, in her opening remark, she alluded to this. Some of the major mandates of FIRO and their function is to identify and characterize locally available raw materials for use in the industries, to identify and develop appropriate technologies in the area of food and agro-allied processing and in various non-food uses, to upgrade indigenous technology, the one I just said, that I said at the beginning of my speech, that we have to upgrade the indigenous or local technology that our people have been using before. Let's try to modernize them. Let's try to make them to be more friendly, usable to them. And we have to take away the drudgery and the energy sapping effort that they use in doing things. We can do things in a better way when we apply science and technology to develop our indigenous technology in the area of food and agro-allied processing and in various non-food uses industry. To develop pilot scale operation, that is prototype that I just said, but I'm hoping and I believe that one of the interventions that I made in the presentation of, I think, the Raw Materials Research and Development Council yesterday, that we should, all the palaces of Fmst, and by extension, the headquarters, we should try to develop a bill that we are going to take to the National Assembly for them to have an expanded mandate for all our research institutes, just for them to, stop research and development activities at the pilot plan scheme and the prototype stage. Is no more in conformity with the modern trends in science and technology. Let them submit to and see that what they are doing is that what they are. So I will just quickly run through most of the achievements. We said they have gotten about 250 technologies, different ones in many spheres of endeavor of science and technology that FIRO has developed over the years. So some of them are just in the soap and cosmetic industries. which have led to the proliferation of cottage, small-scale, and soap industries in Nigeria, apart from the ones that we know, that Liver Brothers and all these companies that are making waves in the many other indigenous, private, micro, small, medium, and medium-scale enterprises. Firo has nurtured them to maturity, and they are all making, efforts. They are all making waves in supporting the economic growth of Nigeria. Sorghum malt production, R&D, that led to the ban of barley malt production in 1986. And since then, sorghum malt has replaced barley malt in the brewery industry of Nigeria for the production of beer and malt drinks, and saving Nigeria up to about 300 billion naira. 300 billion naira, because if you imagine the time that the sorghum malt technology was developed, considering the number of breweries in Nigeria and those that have been established afterwards, it was the sorghum malt technology that all of them are now using. We are not more importing barley malt. All they just needed to do then when the technology was developed was to do backward integration of their production process. Before you know it, their production process was able to accommodate the barley malt production process, and we are brewing, beer regularly. They've done a lot of winning food and infant formula like soy yogi that has helped to bring down the cost of infant formulae, and made them affordable for our people. Mechanization of the garri production machinery and equipment in Nigeria, composite flour production for the baking industry, which has helped to reduce the importation bill of wheat of developing countries, to stimulating local production of the local production and incorporation of non-wheat flour into wheat flour, like putting about 10 to 15% of cassava flour. You blend it with the wheat flour, and before you know, you are good to go. Even by the time you are consuming the bread, you won't even know that any addition has been made. And this is one of the technologies that have been developed by Firo that is very good for the Nigerian populace. The pulp and paper industry that led to the identification of tropical hardwood for production of pulp and paper production, and it has led to the establishment of 3 paper mills in Nigeria, the one at Jeba, Iwokwen, and later on at Okuiboku. We have instant pounded yam flour. If you go to the stand of Firo, and some of them are just been displayed in front of offset, but if you go to their stand outside the hall here, you will see a variety of their products. But for the benefit of those of us that are here, these are some of the ones that are readily available for you to see as practical proof of what they have been doing over the years. The institute has also developed high nutrient density biscuits, for the malnourished children in Nigeria, and for adults too, those that are having problem with nutritional, value of their body system. And Firo work extensively on high nutrition, ready to use therapeutic food. Many of them are there, and May and Baker, has signed memorandum of understanding with them, and they are doing a lot with this. So we have a lot of drinks and beverages that they've done in the food and beverages industries, and that is the reason why you have many of these fruit drinks that you see all over the country now, that people don't depend on the major or the conventional ones that are known, like Coca-Cola brands of drinks, or the Pepsi. And so you see many other traditional and very rich and highly nutritional ones in the market that are powered and developed by Firo technology, and they use to empower the people to actually make living, and they are contributing to the development of the Nigerian economy. We have tomato processing industry, where processing of fresh tomato into different forms of tomatoes, such as tomato puree, tomato paste, tomato ketchup, and tomato powder. You just need to hydrate them. You pour them in water. Before you know, you are good to go and get your tomato for cooking. Then food processing industry, that's part of it. Then you have the coconut processing subsector, where coconut that is rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and it's also believed to be a functional food because it provides many health benefits beyond its nutritional context. It has, gone a long way in helping people to be, rich in nutritional value that the body needs, so that they can be resistant to diseases and infections. the cereal and legume processing industry. We have high nutritional biscuit industry that I've said, and my master of ceremony has given me the yellow card. I don't want her to give me the red card. So let me just quickly go. We have edible mushroom cultivation industry. Mushroom is very good for the vegetarian that don't eat beef or anything that contains blood. Mushroom is a very, very good alternative for meat products. So you try and embrace the mushroom cultivation process that Firo is doing. Then the fish industry, they are able to do the roasting or the drying of fish in a neater and more hygienic way than the normal one that is covered with charcoal and smoke and so on. Because sometimes people in the rural and remote areas, they consume a lot of things knowingly and unknowingly, and this is some of the causes of death that we cannot really explain, but they might not know. But we, the scientists, we know, and we are trying to give them a better lease of life. Then we have the technology equipment that Firo has manufactured. They've done a lot of machineries and equipment, ranging from garri processing machine, mineral processing machines for polishing and cutting, and many other ones like that. Then I'm happy to inform you that Firo is not alone. As a research institute, you must collaborate and having working cooperation with many other sister agencies, because Firo's mandate as the Federal Institute of Industrial Research is not limited to only food. It goes into agricultural machineries, equipment, and production. It goes into, even some part of a building industry that Nibri is doing, which I'm very happy, because in the past, when I was in the ministry, I know they are collaborating and cooperating very well. And this has yielded a very good result for the Nigerian. So we have a list of 69 research institutes all over Nigeria that Firo collaborates with. So in conclusion, let me quickly round up by concluding that over the years, Firo has trained many entrepreneurs on its various research and development technologies, thereby contributing greatly and immensely to economic growth of the country. And also, they continue to do that because they are sustaining the economy at a very great deal. The federal government must acknowledge and genuinely respond to its onerous and tasking responsibility in the context of research and development technologies in various sectors. The viability of national economy and competitive future of Nigeria depends on effective and calculated research and development technologies for businesses and enterprises in various sectors of the economy. Then, as we know, we don't need to shy in saying this, that inadequacy of funds is one of the major bins of Firo in making the giant strides that Firo is expected of, especially for it to be competitive among its peers of research and development institutions, both locally and internationally. Let me, tell you that with the facilities in Firo, when they are upgraded, with the retinue of officers that are there, that are well educated, and they continuously improve their knowledge and skill, Firo should be able to compete with any research institute of his own type that is having similar mandate all over the whole world. They are not doing rocket science. It's only the support of the people and the government of Nigeria that Firo needs to get to where it's supposed to be. So I pray that Almighty God will make the politicians to give us the political will and the wherewithal to be able to take Firo to the level it's supposed to be. Then, based on the conclusion and all the foregoing above, I want to recommend as follows. That based on the foregoing above, the following recommendations are being made. That, one, in view of the recent clamor of the federal government to create 774,000 jobs in all the 774 local government areas across the length and breadth of Nigeria, that is to say that 1,000 jobs will be created in each of the 774 local government, making 774 jobs will be created. Firo should readily position itself immediately with other relevant sister agencies of Fmst, where collaboration, is essential to key into this laudable program through human capital through human capital capacity building to be provided to the would-be beneficiaries in working collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment, as well as working collaboration with the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON. So FIRO should key into this program that the federal government is clamoring to establish. The massive production of processing machineries and equipment, instruments and tools for the transmission or conversion of raw materials to useful goods and services. This can be achieved through organizing technical capacity building programs, TCPB, for local indigenous machineries and equipment manufacturers or fabricators within the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria on a rotational and several batches consistently for ensuring a comprehensive coverage. This will ensure fabrication of equipment and machineries to high quality standard, improve dimensional tolerance, enhance efficiency and skill upgrading of our local fabricators of machineries and equipment. The third one, immediate deployment of already proven and viable technologies to all the nooks and crannies, that's remote areas of Nigeria, in order to facilitate the desire of the rural and remote area dwellers to use new and upgraded technologies for poverty alleviation and wealth creation, and thereby improving their socio-economic well-being. The fourth recommendation is that FIRO should reach out more aggressively to collaborate with both national and international development partners in providing its high nutrient and energy giving products to the internally displaced people, IDP camps nationwide. The Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, the Honorable Minister of State of Science and Technology, and the Permanent Secretary are well disposed to assist in this regard. Number 5, considering the enormity of the intervention of work that FIRO is expected to perform on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, and indeed the entire science and technology and innovation sector of Nigeria, FIRO should be given very high priority in the allocation, disbursement, and effective or actual release of funds at the commencement of a budget year cycle every year. This will allow FIRO to achieve the meaningful impact it is expected to provide to humanity in general and to enhance socio-economic emancipation of Nigerians. Number 6, in the area of agro-processing machineries and equipment production and deployment, apart from FIRO liaising with its sister agencies in Fmst, it should also establish effective collaboration, working collaboration with the Agricultural Machineries and Manufacturing Training Institute at Ilorin, which is under the aegis of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. This is for accelerating rural areas penetration and technology diffusion. Then 7, considering the instability and dwindling economic situation generally in Nigeria that has directly impacted negatively on the financial condition of the science, technology, and innovation sector, especially FIRO is urged to intensify its internal revenue generation drive in order to plow back some of the revenue into its research and development activities for sustainable progress to be made. This will allow FIRO to continue to be kept abreast with some of the latest technological developments worldwide, and also make FIRO to be a recognized world-class rated research and development institution. Number 8, FMSC should spearhead the urgent need to establish a robust national risk fund by the federal government of Nigeria in collaborating with angel investors. This will enable most of the research and development prototypes and pilot plant schemes at FIRO and other research institutes to be scaled up or upgraded to industrial scale level for the promotion and establishment of micro, small, medium enterprises across Nigeria. Number 9, the science and technology and innovation sector is the most dynamic and pervasive in all countries of the world. The advanced nations of this world have realized this very early and taken full or optimum advantage of SCI endeavors to supersede other emerging and underdeveloped economies. Hence, FIRO should embark on a critical and vital area of technical exchange program of its members of staff to not just only fostering working relationship with but traveling to research institutes with similar mandates in developed countries in order to professionally expose to new and emerging technologies for either short or long-term programs. Likewise, the staff of such research institutes should also be afforded the opportunities to have working relationships with fellow staff in Nigeria for a robust technical exchange program to be established. This will also enable fellows to be able to participate actively in cutting-edge technology programs. The 10th, all research institutes in Nigeria, especially those under the purview of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, and in particular FIRO, should strengthen all their existing critical infrastructures and also reinvigorate all their efforts in programs and project implementation to conclusive ends in order for Nigerians and indeed all humanity to benefit optimally from their research and development activities that lead to innovation. All these research institutes should also endeavor as much as possible to venture into new vistas and ex-ante frontiers. This is not just for the purposes of being reactive to critical national and international dimension situations, but to already be at vantage positions to be able to respond promptly and effectively in combating sudden or emergency crises or upsurges. Some of the recent crises are Ebola fever outbreak, Lassa fever outbreak, coronavirus pandemic disease, COVID-19, which is still ravaging the whole world since sometimes in October 2019 to date. When all the efforts of the research institute lead to job creation, employment and empowerment for youth shall be ensured. Hence, restiveness, banditry, and other forms of antisocial vices shall be avoided in Nigeria. In order to achieve this, all hands have to be on deck. Thank you very much for listening to me attentively.
I said it. Too much knowledge. I knew it. He's my director. Dr. Talabi, thank you so very much for that powerful paper presentation. Let's celebrate Dr. Talabi. You know him, wealth of experience. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you so very much, sir. On that note, permit me, please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to crave our indulgence to call on Alhaji Tajuddin Umar Naroba, a representative of Chairman Governing Board, FIRO, to give us his goodwill message. You have 2 minutes, sir. 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to humbly and respectfully stand on the existing protocol. I've been given just 2 minutes by the Master of Ceremony, and I would like to summarize within the 2 minutes. The Expo should have taken a better flavor and dimension, but because of the COVID-19, the attendance is not as we expected, and the flavor. I bring greetings from the governing board of the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, as I'm representing the chairman, who is unavoidably absent. I would like to commend the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Obonai Onu, and his colleague, the Honorable Minister of State, Barrister Mohammed Abdullahi, for putting the annual program together since 2017. Since 2017, there has not been any program in the ministry like this, except now. It is a record that the program has made a lot of impact on the socio-economic development of Nigeria. It is also pertinent to commend the President Muhammadu Buhari for the support to FIRO to achieve this mandate. But more support is needed in terms of more funds for FIRO to be able to function more effectively. FIRO has been set up several years ago, and the impact it has made in the socio-economic development of this country cannot be underestimated. On behalf of my board, the governing board, I pledge that FIRO will continue to ensure the mandate to support the federal government agenda and programs, including rural and urban industrialization, and particularly job creation, which is in dire need now because of our youth coming out of school without jobs. There has to be a collective effort to ensure jobs are created. And jobs cannot be created without enough funds. We need to expand the capital base. We need to talk more with the Senate Committee and the House of Representatives to see how more funds can be allocated to science and technology and FIRO in particular. We also have to work with other donor agencies, DFID, the World Bank, other world agencies, so that we can attract more funds for the development of FIRO. I don't want to overstretch the Master of Ceremony. She only gave me 2 minutes. Thank you very much for the attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was Alhaji Naba. Please, let's give him another round of applause. Before I bring up the next DG that will be giving us his goodwill message, I would like to recognize the presence of Mrs. Mfon Okot. She is the Director of Science Promotions and Renewable Energy, Ministry of Science and Technology, Akwa Ibom State. Please, ma, just a wave, let people see you. We also have Mrs. Grace Jim. She is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Science and Technology, Akwa Ibom State. She is representing the Honorable Commissioner for Science and Technology. So please, ma'am, you're welcome. On that note, please, I would like to crave the indulgence of the Director General, CEO NIBRI, Professor Duna Sampson, to come and give us his goodwill message. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. The DG of FIRO, the guest speaker, my old senior, a retired but not a tired director, who has taken quite a lot of time to tell us more about FIRO, our board member of FIRO, directors here present, representative of the commissioner, may I respectfully stand on the existing protocol. I will start by congratulating FIRO for their day. This is a special day. FIRO has done wonderfully well. Let's put our hands together for FIRO. The good thing about FIRO is that FIRO and NIBRI, they have a lot of things in common. They are all residing in Lagos. Anytime on my way to Ota, I'll pass through FIRO. At times, when my car breaks down, I'll go to FIRO to give me a vehicle for me to reach Ota. So the Director General, I want to really thank you for adding value to what FIRO is doing. FIRO has done quite a lot. I always tease her anytime we're in a meeting. I will ask her, where is palm wine coming from FIRO? And again, looking at the product displayed here, there is no palm wine up to now. I don't know what is happening. And coincidentally, there was a clash. between NAFDA and FIRO when we were in National Assembly. NAFDA was saying that they are adding value to palm wine. FIRO are saying that we are the original other values in palm wine. So it becomes a point of clash. Who are adding value to palm wine? So once again, I want to commend FIRO. I believe for everybody that have traveled by air, in one way or the other, you must have come across FIRO's biscuit. Yes. You must have eaten FIRO's product in one way or the other. So please and please, I want to really say thank you and bravo, the DG. Continue to do a wonderful thing you are doing. We want to commend you for doing a wonderful thing. But please don't forget your staff. Welfare of staff is very, very important. Please ensure that you put smiles in the faces of your staff. No matter your achievement, if your staff are hungry, you are not working. Ensure that you move with your staff, smiles on their faces. Once again, this is a day for FIRO, and everything should be centered on FIRO. I want to use this video to invite you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Liberty Day. Don't miss tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Prof. Thank you. He said it all. Staff welfare is key, and I picked that. Thank you so very much, sir. While he was giving his goodwill message, Mrs. Deborah Rubere, she's the Deputy Director, Renewable and Conventional Energy in the Ministry of Science and Technology. Mrs. Rubere, please, just give us a wave, please. We also have Engineer Dr. Ape, who is from Nibri. We also, Dr. Ape, if you're here, just wave. And we have Mrs. Obidozie from Nibri as well. I think they are all going out with the DG. Thank you so very much. On that note, I would like to invite the panel of discussants. They are going to take over the helm of affairs right away. And they are going to start the session very soon. So I will invite the following discussants. Please, Dr. Oluwatoyin Oluwole. She is seated already. Dr. Lawal Adekunle. They are all there. Then Dr. Bolane Ashiru and Dr. Oyeko. They are the four discussants we are having on board. You're welcome. You have the floor now. Your time starts now.
During the COVID-19, when it was at its peak, food was very, very expensive. FIRO has a major mandate in the area of food and agro-allied processing. And most of the technologies, we said we have at least 250 technologies. At least means that we have more than 250 technologies. There are so many technologies that we still have that Nigerians have not yet benefited from them. And some of these technologies will address every aspect, every cadre, every status, or every Nigerian status, whether poor or rich, whether man or woman, whether the person is living in the rural areas or in the urban center. So we have a lot of technologies, different from the 250 technologies we usually talk about. And we need to deploy these technologies to every state in the country. I also want to say that in the area of food, FIRO has developed some technologies that will even benefit farmers. The way they are doing the on-farm processing, we need to look at it, because that is the point in which we have problems in Nigeria. The on-farm processing method is faulty. The farmers are using the indigenous technologies, which FIRO have done some work in that area as well, in terms of improving, upgrading the indigenous technologies, so that right from the farm gate, value is being added to that food, not that the food will be rejected, especially if the food is to be exported. We need to control the quality of food, the quality of the processing method. The method of processing we need to upgrade, in which FIRO has an advantage in that area. We have some of these technologies waiting to be taken by Nigeria. Thank you so much, so that we can have food and nutrition security even amidst COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Most of what has been emphasized or has been talked about in terms looking at the topic of the day, which centers around research and development. Research and development is a thing based on what our guest speaker has said, that there's no way we cannot run away from it. It has become a thing that we have to actually emphasize more, because it's the only way that we can have a ravaged nation under this COVID-19 being pulled out of poverty. And he also emphasized the fact that most of what needs to be done to get this nation out of a ravaged economy where COVID-19 has actually made its impact is into research and development. He emphasized mostly on what is research and development as part of the panacea at which we can have a change in what is going on in the nation and the world at large. He emphasized so many things in terms of what FIRO has done, in terms of our achievements. If you look at most of what we do, we call it applied research. What is applied research? That is a research in which you have products to show. Many years ago, one of our DGs went to America and they were trying to talk about research and development. When it was the time to showcase abstract research, professors came here and there and so on. But when it was the second day to show product, the whole hall was empty. And that's what we stand for, products. The products are important because that's the only way that we can solve unemployment, wealth creation, and poverty alleviation. And then the speaker also emphasized on so many products, but I want to zero in on what we have based on the mandate of the present government, which is what? Foreign exchange conservation. FIRO has emphasized this in all his research. I'll pick an example. The enzyme project. We have industrial enzymes. Enzymes are imported. They are imported, and when you look at the market of enzymes in the country, Nigeria spends over 200 billion annually to import enzymes. I want to tell you categorically on this platform that we have developed over nine industrial enzymes, which the industries are looking for. And we are ready. We are ready to actually showcase and carry this nation to the next level and prevent what we call foreign exchange importation, so that we conserve this foreign exchange. And if you look at all these centers that we have developed, they are products from microorganisms. What are microorganisms? Things you cannot from in nature, but they exist. We culture them, put them in the lab, make friendly with them, and use them on waste materials. So what are we doing in that direction? We are trying to clean up. Clean up is also a vital thing, because when we talk about pollution, is a problem in the country. But most of what we have used to develop our enzymes are purely raw materials which are waste products. And these are things we can easily get in the environment to develop our enzymes. So I want to say that if government would challenge us more, how do you challenge us? Give us most of what we needed most to get this nation on the platform or the next level, so that we can take some of these things that we have developed in the laboratory to a level at which we can train and actually stop problem of unemployment. And then you also emphasized on the area of, I'm talking about area of mushroom as well. These are these are proteinous foods and so on, which are also from waste. All I'm saying in essence is that what we are ready. Furo is ready to take this nation to the next level in terms of solving the problem of unemployment, because all our products are commercializable. There's no anything we have developed in the lab, we take it to the next stage at which we call the pilot scale. Not until we can run at the pilot scale level, we don't tell the world that we have developed it. And then most of the industries that we have, they rely on some of intermediate product. An example is the glucose syrup. Glucose syrup is required all over the industries that are producing confectionaries, those that are making medicine and so on. We have developed the very simple technology to get this done. So we want to challenge the fact that if we have in the government, we need more backing from the government, so that if we have enough funds to run with, I can say categorically that we'll take this nation to the next level and solve the problem of unemployment, poverty alleviation, and then we can actually commercialize most of the products we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Ashiru.
Lawal.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Lawal, thank you so very much, sir. Okay, that was Dr. Lawal Adekunle Kolawale. He's the Director of Biotechnology. So, can we have Dr. Oyeko? You want to take from there?
Thank you very much. I would like to stand also on the existing protocol. Also like to lend my voice to the discussion today on science and technology development and how science can be used to drive economic development. The truth is that there can be no economic development without science and innovation and technology. There can be no development. If you look at the advanced nations of the world, we discover that economic development is linked directly with innovations in the university, in the polytechnic, and also in the various research centers. They are linked directly. It's directly proportional. But when you look at our side here, you discover that we still play a lot with science and technology. We have not accorded the kind of effort that we are supposed to accord to science, technology, and innovation to it. But this does not, however, mean that we lack innovation. We have a lot of innovation. You can see around, you see so many commercializable innovations that researchers in Nigeria have developed and have come to exhibit here. So, but I think what is needed mostly now is how do we commercialize even the one that we have today? How do we commercialize them? How do we turn them into commercial products? How do we move them from our laboratories, from our workshop, onto the market? That is the main thing today. That is the major focus today. And we should, the earlier we do that, the better. We need to move them out into the market. And that's the way the economy can grow. Moving the innovation from the workshop, from the laboratory, onto the market. To do this, fund will be needed. Commercialization is not cheap. Sometimes within our environment here, the investor will tell you that they don't have money. They will be looking for somebody to do it and probably hand it over to them. We have started a model at Firo. We call it catalytic model factories. So we build the factory. We invite private operator to come and operate it. And after a while, we have an agreement on how such is run. And that's also give us an advantage of increasing the rate of adoption of our technology. Because if a client or an investor comes and he sees a working system, a plant that is not just research now, but a plant that is working on commercial basis, then that gives confidence that, oh, this thing is working, I can invest my money. So the rate of adoption is always increased through that process. I also want to talk about fund. The fund to R&D is not enough in Nigeria. It's not enough at all. But I thank God that the president is trying to address this. I read yesterday in one of the news that the president is now putting 0.5% of GDP into research and development. Though it's small, but it is something. It is a starting point. It's very strong compared to what you have in advanced station, where you have 2%, you have 3%, where you have even 5% or even more. But it's a starting point. Let's start with that and we'll grow gradually. Thank you very much.
That was Dr. Oyegu. Thank you so very much, sir. I would like to call on the last discussant. Is no other person than Dr. Engineer Bolanle Ashiru. You have the floor, sir.
I will not say much because my colleague has said a lot about. I will start from the commercialization. I belong to engineering, and that's the way you can see the tangible product from the laboratory. We translate the product in the laboratory to tangible products by setting up pilot plants, and that is a move towards commercialization of our technology. Like earlier speakers have said, for you to commercialize any R&D product, there must be a processing plant set up, which means that there must be equipment to support such innovation. I want to tell you that all innovations developed in the Institute are supported by pilot plants and equipment fabricated from our own institute, which are later transferred into outside fabricators. Because for us to be able to improve on MSMEs and the adoption of technology, we need to transfer those technology to fabricators so that Nigerians can have access to our innovations. So in most cases, we do what we call fabrication workshop, where we showcase our new inventions in engineering and transfer it into the fabricators, which now is now become more cheaper for Nigerians to access such technology from our local fabricators. We all know that without equipment, you cannot have a tangible product. You don't have all it takes to give you necessary technology that you need. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Ashiru. That was quite apt and very short and straight to the point. Let's celebrate him once again. Thank you, sir. We are finally winding down to the close of this event. Before we do that, I would like to call on Dr. Mrs. Bolanle Oyedoyi. She is the Director of Planning, Technology, Transfers and Information in FIRO to come for her vote of thanks. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I want to, my job here is just to give us the vote of thanks for being here during this program. But before I actually go further, I'd like to let us know that Firo has successfully commercialized some of his R&D products. If you look to your left, those of us who are here, if you look this way, you will be wondering, you see some products on the table that are displayed here. Those are just some samples of products of Firo beneficiaries. Those entrepreneurs that have attended technology transfer training workshops at Firo and have gone ahead to set up small-scale industries. And these products are in the supermarkets already. And if you look at the screen, you'll see a woman whose product is also here giving her testimony. We actually were at her factory to see what she's doing. And there are other investors who will also receive their testimonies that they are showing us. By this, I want to really appreciate the presence of Mr. Nava, the board member of Firo, a member of Firo Governing Board, who is representing our chairman today at this occasion. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for coming, sir. I want to also thank the representative of UNIDO here, Dr. Kayode. You're welcome, sir. The directors of the ministry, the supervising directors of Fmst here present, other special dignitaries that are here, the DGCEOs of research institutes that are here, directors of Firo. I really appreciate you for making this day a very special one indeed for us at Firo. I want to especially thank my acting DGCEO in the person of Dr. Mrs. Yemisi Asakra for making it, for propelling us, encouraging us to put this together. She gave us the full support, and I'm very happy that it is a very successful event. I want to especially thank our guest speaker, Dr. Talabi, Dr. Adeneye Talabi, a former supervising director of Firo, Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. Thank you very much for the work that you have done for adding value to what we are doing in the Institute. Once again, I want to appreciate you all for coming. And before you go, I want to encourage those of us who hope to be industrialists, whether you are still in employment or you will soon retire. Think industrialization, think Firo, come and acquire Firo technologies so that you too can become industrialists, so that you too can add value to the raw materials that are available in Nigeria. Thank you once again. I thank you all.
Please, let's give it up again to Dr. Mrs. Bolanle Oyedoyin. She actually took her vote of thanks across board. Thank you so very much, everyone that spent your quality time here with us today. It's been an eventful day for every one of us here. On that note, I would like to pray for our indulgence that we should be upstanding. We are going to sing the second stanza of the anthem as our closing prayers. Shall we be upstanding, please? We'll sing it together. Oh God, creation, direct and noble path, guide our leaders right, help our youths their truth to know, in love and honor. you so very much. We have come to the close of this event. Thank you, and we wish you journey nurses back to your destinations. Thank you. My name is Henrietta Okoko, and I've been your anchor person for this event. Thank you.
Acting DG, the board members and directors, step forward for group photograph. Why they carry the one? Why they carry the one?